This is your boy Basement Boxing Talk coming to you live from Clutch Studio, Clutch Radio, and we gonna get the intro started. We're gonna get the intro started and get started right now.
You say, Basement Boxing Talk, you know I'm a warrior, right? Fuck that, I'm a champion. Basement Boxing Talk, left, right, jab in the hook, better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last, better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather, you hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved. Basement Boxing Talk, left, right, jab in the hook, better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last, better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather, you hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved. I'm feeling cocky. I hit a thing to beat the ring, a boof up like I'm Rocky. ASAP, any opponent think they can stop me. I stay stride, chop, tryna learn my moves so you can copy. You gotta give it your all. Gotta give it your all. When you're back against the wall. When you're back against the wall. When you the one people call. When you the one people call. To keep greatness involved. To keep greatness involved. Basement Boxing Talk, left, right, jab in the hook, better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last, better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather, you hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved. Basement Boxing Talk, left, right, jab in the hook, better protect your jaw. 12 rounds if you can last, better protect your fall. I got hits like Mayweather, you hit that round of applause. No question, the problem solved.
This is your boy Basement Boxing Talk coming to you live from Clutch Radio, and we usually we got the panel up here today, but unfortunately, guys are handling some family business or whatever. So we welcome back once again Coach Ronald Sims. I appreciate you for coming, Coach. And we got a good brother, Brandon County, coming in on the panel, joining in us today. Another guy that knows boxing and give us another output, another look on boxing. Salute to D-Lo 404 Boxing. He's in the building, joining us on YouTube. Appreciate you for coming through, D-Lo. And Brandon, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Name is Brandon County. I'm located here in Houston, Texas. I'm a boxing manager and an advisor. Been working in boxing on and off since 2012. I'm glad to be here. I actually enjoy talking boxing. I could talk about boxing all day because I'm always learning something about the fight game.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for coming through. Coach Ronald Sims, how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back on Basement Boxing Talk. Really appreciate it.
Hey, I see you back in the States, right? Can you tell everybody where you been at, what you been doing lately?
Yeah, actually, I live in India. I work at a institute, a sports institute. I have over 40 something young boxers that I'm teaching to box. I got a guy from the U.S., but his parents are from Laos. He needed a coach to participate in the Asian Championship, so I had him come to India to train a little bit. He came to India, trained for about a week, and then we got the notice of the coronavirus going up, so we had to leave India, and we went to Egypt for 2 weeks and trained in Cairo, Egypt for 2 weeks. And then we went to Dubai and had the competition in Dubai. And then I came on home after that competition. So I'm back in the DMV, and I'll be leaving here in a couple of days to go to Vegas to check out Shakur Stevenson fight and Troy Isley. They're from the area. So I'm gonna go check them out next week. And then I'm just gonna do go on my vacation and visit some family members across the country, and then I'm headed back to India.
Okay. I appreciate that, Coach. Appreciate that. I was seeing that the good brother Black Star was coming in. I didn't want to get too far ahead, but we can just keep going. Well, hey, let's talk about tomorrow's card. Tomorrow's card. Oh, hold on. We got a guest. Okay. AK the Apostle.
What up? What up?
What up, good brother? Good brother. How you doing?
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
What's
Welcome
going
to the
on?
panel. Welcome to the panel.
How's it going, AK the Apostle?
How you doing there, sir? How you doing today?
Everything's good.
AK, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Well, I'm AK the Apostle from Team Lonely Child Boxing. You know, we are a boxing company out of the DMV, in which myself, I do the media side of Team Lonely Child Boxing. So how y'all doing today?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Hey, we got the good brother Black Star Sports TV 2 in the building. Appreciate you for coming through, good brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm okay, man. Been running around this morning, man. A little late there. Sorry about that. What's going on, everybody, man? How all the brothers doing today?
How's
So
it
why
going?
you look like you out there with the cicadas, man?
Yeah, they out here attacking me,
Hey,
man.
how's
You
it
hear
going?
them back there? Is it too loud?
Nah, cool.
Yeah, they right here on my heels, bro. I be sitting here sometimes, be talking, man. They laying right here on me.
Whoa.
Hey, I'd like to say salute to the good brother Sir Ken just joined and nicer. Salute. Hey, good
Yes,
brother
man.
Black Star, you want to start off?
Oh, where we at? What's going on?
We just started. We was just about to start talking about the Floyd card for tomorrow.
Yeah, I hadn't even had a chance to pull up all the names on the undercard, man. I'm a little step off, bro. I had to admit, man. You know,
Don't worry about it.
I've
We
been
can
trying to
start.
battle with my nephew, you know, him and his leg injury, you know.
Right.
And
Let's,
I ain't been able to be as into boxing this week as I normally would be.
did this. We ain't never get a chance to talk about the Devin Haney fight on my show since we fought last. Would you your brother, would you like to talk about that?
Oh man, yeah, Devin Haney. Yeah, man. I ain't
I'm re-
surprised because we never, you know, with black fighters don't never get a fair shot. You know, they always moving the goalposts. If we do this, we got to do that. And if we do that, then we should have did this. You know, it's like you ain't gonna never be able to please certain aspects of people. But that's why, you know, if they learn nothing from this fight, and that's all black fighters, you should learn that whatever it is that you do, you need to stick to that. And don't worry about trying to impress a fan. You know, it's just like somebody playing football and you running down the sideline, you looking up in the stadium at your girlfriend. Hey, well, these guys out here still on their game plan. So when you look back and get back to reality, they waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get what you got coming. So stick and focus to what you do best, and you know, let the rounds come and go. You win the rounds and put them in the bag, man. This is boxing. You know what I'm saying? This ain't sock'em robots, you know. But you know, that's like the main thing. But let's pass it around. You know, I chopped it up a little bit about last week on my show, so you know, they probably sick of hearing me.
Coach, give us your output on the Devin Haney fight last week.
Okay, actually, I was overseas and I did not get to watch it, but I was on the clubhouse and I was listening with the group and everybody was talking about it, and they said Devin Haney did a good job, and then except for like I think the 10th round he got caught, got staggered a little bit, but we got to realize that Devin is only 20, 22, 23 years old. He's learning. Guess what? He has to make mistakes. You won't get better unless you make mistakes. You got to make mistakes to see to go back to the drawing board and see what you got to work on. So everybody's criticizing this young boy. He's only 22, 23 years old. He's going to grow. You have to make mistakes or you're not going to get better. So, hey, my hats are off to him. He's a sharp individual, and mainly, I do think that his father is super sharp. and I'm gonna tell you why. Uh, uh, we were on this. We were talking. A lot of people were asking the question. Hey, you notice this guy got different coaches in his corner every fight. Why is this? Oh, this is not good. I'm like, well, you know what? His father is sharp as I don't know what. His father know what he's doing. His father is showing everybody, hey, I am in control. Okay, yes, he's learning too, but guess what? The father is the he's the orchestra. He's the what you call it? What you call the guy with
The orchestrator.
the orchestrator? He
Yeah.
he's organizing everything. He's in control, and and he's learning. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's not a coach." Man, a guy that's been around boxing for as long as he has been, guess what? He got a lot of knowledge. He's been around some top people too. So hey, this guy to me is a genius when it comes to boxing. This is from my point of view. I don't know him. I've never met him. But from my viewpoint, this guy is he's on the top.
Okay.
He,
Brandon,
he's
can you
the
give us
fight.
your output on the Devin Haney fight from last week?
I mean, Haney did what he was supposed to do. I mean, he dominated the fight. Okay, he got rocked once. Boxers get rocked. He did the smart thing and clinch, held, smothered Linares. He won the fight. I mean, like Coach just said, he's 22. He still has, you know, another decade of being in his physical peak and his physical prime. So people really need to stop nitpicking on the one thing that goes wrong with a lot of these boxers. Unfortunately, you have a lot of people who don't know boxing giving opinions. And a lot of these people who are telling you that, oh well, Haney is overrated, Haney is this, Haney is that, they're not trainers, they're not promoters, they're not managers, they're fans. And just how fans are criticizing LeBron James for losing in the first round in the first time of his career in 18 years. It's like there's so much more that this person has that they're doing that you're focusing on that one moment where something went wrong as being everything about this fighter. And I look at Devin Haney and I'm like, he's a promoter's dream. He's young, he's athletic, he has good people in his corner. He's everything you would want your championship fighter to be. So I was greatly impressed with him having the fight with Linares, dominating the fight with Linares, and holding on to get the victory. He learned something in that fight.
Yes, sir. Only thing, one of the critics, one of my things that I had about the fight, Devin Haney did dominate the fight, majority of the fight, for at least 9 rounds, at least. Um, I just say like some of the punishment that he took trying to get the knockout. That's what I didn't agree with. I mean, Devin Haney, he before that fight, like we said on the show before, it's only a few fighters in boxing who got defense like Devin Haney. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. Uh, it was a couple that we named, but it's only a few. It's only a few, and I just disagree with him sitting in the pocket taking some of the shots that he took when he could have easily used the jab and not took some of the punishment that he took. And like you say, it was his first time. This is a learning lesson, like Coach said. But that was just one of the things I didn't like. And then I want to get you guys' opinion too. Do you guys agree? Like Coach said, he apparently he agrees. But do you agree with the trainer that Bill Haney got for Devin Haney for the fight? Anybody? It's open question.
Well, I
Before
mean,
I
I'll
get
say this. I mean, I'm not a trainer, but I'll say I don't see a reason to question any of his people in his corner at this moment. That's my only opinion on it. I don't have a reason to say something has to be wrong there.
Okay.
All right, two things real quick. About the performance last week, I agree with everybody's assessment on how he dominated the fight, but it still was a lot of takeaways from that fight. But in essence of the trainer, I mean, it's his first fight with Devin, so it's a lot of things about Devin that he don't know. You know what I mean? One trainer can't he doesn't know enough to tell him, oh yeah, you should have did this or that and that. He's learning, Devin. So I wouldn't put but so much emphasis on what he did. But my takeaway from that, the situation that we all gonna talk about when he got hurt, the reaction, how nobody was prepared for that. Not even Devin, not the corner, nobody. So the truth of the matter is, it all gets better if they don't lie to each other. They have to tell the truth, man. Look, sitting in the pocket banging is not your thing. You know what I mean? Hey, from this point on, we got to work on strictly boxing and defense. And then no matter what, you do what you got to do to get the vic. But trying to listen to the people on the sideline talk about your fights born and try to bang when we now know that's not your game. So it gets better if they don't lie to him.
Salute to PGA's big dog. He's in the building. Salute, good brother. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
Hey, can I say something about that?
Yes, sir.
Because you know what, this is the sport of boxing, and guess what? You're going to get hit. I don't know if you guys remember Muhammad Ali. There's a guy by the name of Henry Cooper that caught him with a left hook. Yeah, you're going to learn. You're going to grow. This is if you don't make mistakes, you're not going to get better. So it's good that he's making some mistakes, and it's not ending the fight, but it's gonna better his career because he's gonna learn from it, and that's the way that I see it.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. One thing I noticed in it, because we were told that Ben Davison was going to be the lead guy in the corner, but on fight night that wasn't so. The Pops was still in charge. And I got mixed feelings. I think I do agree he's a good trainer and everything, but I believe he's gotten the maximum out of his father he can get. And I think he needs to have something added to it. He needs to get back in that Mayweather gym, have one of the trainers there pick him up, and a little more, experience than him. It's so fitting for him. It's up for him. You can see it, It's like stuff that he wants to do that is according to the Mayweather game plan. He executes it naturally, because like you see trainers, fighters go out here try to change their style up, like Jared Hurd didn't look so good in that last fight because he's trying to do something that he don't normally do. So you can see him look uncomfortable, slow, not really reflexes ain't like where he is, like he's hesitant. So that gives the guy you fighting a hell of an advantage if he's seeing it now. You're doing something you're not comfortable with. So if you get in trouble, you're not going to stick to that. You're going to go back to what's make you comfortable. So that makes you get like that, and that's not a good thing. You need to be focused. You need to be solid. You need to be doing what you trained to do, and get in that ring and say, look, this is what I'm going to do, and no matter what he do, this is what he getting from me. If you got that kind of confidence and you can stick up to it, that's going to make you even better. But even Devin Haney said in this one, he said, I wanted to prove to the fans, I wanted to show to the fans. So he went inside and he took some gamble, which he should have never had to do. If he hadn't, he would have just, he would have washed him. But like you say, Coach, he learned something from that. And that is good from that. But, I wish he wouldn't have to feel like he had to take the gamble, because this is boxing, and to get suckered into that old machismo stuff about who's tough and all that, you're not a rock'em sock'em robot fighter, no way. So you already know that, but what you do is a credit to the sport, because not every fighter can do what you do. You see, that needs to be more appreciated. When you sit there and you make I could do this, but I'm gonna go in and put my head in there just to impress them, so they can laugh at you when you get touched and you get a little wobbly, and all they talking about from the whole fight is how you got wobbled a little bit. But you were supposed to be running. Remember? They said before the fight, Linares is going to come. He's going to be running. He never ran. But is anybody talking about that? Is he getting any credit for that? You know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to understand. As a black fighter, you're not going to have that support like that. You got to be the bad guy. You have no choice. You can go out and you can kiss babies. You can take photos with everybody, sign all the autographs. At the end of the day, they want to see you get hit. They want to see you wobble. And they want to make fun of you. That's the bottom line. So you got to accept that. And just like Floyd had to learn, and he just embraced it, man. And look where it's taking him. But if you're fighting against that, you're only setting yourself up for failure.
Black Star, you're 100% right when you say that. And it's easy saying it from our point of view. But when it's the boxers always feel like they have to prove something to, to the audience. I'll give you a prime example. Chris Bird. Chris Bird was a little guy and a very elusive boxer. I know I boxed him twice, but then he went to heavyweight and he went in and he tried to fight those big guys. You want to prove to, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's the smartest thing to do, but when you get in, you want to prove, hey, that I can do it. I can do what you guys say I can't do. And like I said, it's not the smartest thing, but as a person in the ring and you're competing, you want to show the audience that, hey, that you are what they say you aren't.
I believe that. True that, coach. That's just a fighter's mentality. What you got to say, AK?
Hey, but see, to his point though, that night Chris Bird got against Ike Biabucci, I don't think there was nothing he could have did to get away from that animal, man. Ike Biabucci went and got him.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right with Ike Biabucci, but I'm talking about all the heavyweights.
My God.
He fought a lot of heavyweights, and he went and fought them. But he's a little guy. Right now he's 50 years old. He's trying to make a comeback at 168 pounds, and he fought heavyweights.
Yeah. I mean, that night, Ike, man, my God, man, listen, Ike was tenacious. I mean, Ike just didn't take no for an answer, man. Like, man, I mean, when he hit him, that's the first time I ever seen somebody after the fight watch himself get hit and go, whoa! That's how hard Ike hit him. But like I said, man, Devin, look, he's a great fighter. He's a great boxer. We will learn more about him. We're not going to know if he learned from his mistake to his next fight, So we just got to hope and see that they took what they saw that night, make the right adjustments, and we'll see you in his next fight because I'm pretty sure them other guys, the Rollies of the world, the Teofimos of the world, they are queuing up now because they think they see a chink in his armor. So they're going to come after him now.
True that.
If I could add in something, I think the thing that I hope Devin and his people remember and take to heart is that you're going to have people that they're going to be in the audience, they're going to be observers, but they're not necessarily looking for you to succeed and trying to prove to them that you can knock a guy out. Like Coach Ronald said, trying to be macho, machismo, showing how tough you are to people who don't like you and who's always going to move the goalposts and look for anything that you did wrong is a surefire way to fail. Because you see now a lot of people who don't like Devin Haney or who criticize Devin Haney, those first 8 rounds of that fight, they're not saying, man, look how good he did. Look how tough he was. Look how fast. Look how sharp. It's literally, when once Linares hit him and he got him wobbled, that's where I'm going to start observing who Devin Haney is. And I hope that he ignores a bunch of those people and just listen to the people whose opinions really matter.
Brandon, can I add to that? Brandon, haters gonna hate. That's just what they do. If he would have continued about the same way that he did, they would have said, "Oh man, he is so boring. He's scared to fight. He runs." Haters gonna hate no matter what you do. So you can't worry about them. But I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did take that chance, and now he can go back to the drawing board and say, "Hey man, these are the mistakes we made, and let's go and fix them."
And I'll add something else
absolutely,
to that too, man, because when he was in there fighting, nobody mentions the fact that he had Linares holding a lot in that fight too. Linares gotten in some situations in there where he was getting pieced up pretty nice, and he was in a position in order to stop the hands. He had to hold on to the guy, But nobody talking about that. Here it is, a veteran, 50+ fights. He's supposed to came out here. He's supposed to steamroll him. He's supposed to walk him down. He's supposed to been physical. He's supposed to, everybody's looking for this. They waiting on the knockout, but none of that happened. He was out there being very cautious. Why? Because he had a lot of smoke coming at him that he was trying to deal with. And every now and then he'd land a hook or something here and there, just a little something. But it wasn't never, it couldn't match what Henny was bringing. So when people are not really appreciating the skill and just how good Devin Haney is right now, and that's a shame because that hurts the sport of boxing. But you see this through all sports now. If there's a position where a black man is excelling in and carrying the sport, like the running back did in football, they come out and switch it up now, change the rules and the regulations, make it a passing league, and tell you the quarterback. We're going to pay him all the money, and the running backs don't make nothing, even though they have the shorter careers. But that's a whole deeper subject. But they do it over there. They're doing it in boxing. Now all the skill and all that, oh, it's boring. Oh, it's that. But this is the thing that makes the sport special. You want to see the counters, the jab and the move and the slipping. You know what I'm saying? This is hit and not get hit. Not I hit you, you hit me, I hit you, you hit me, I hit you. Come on, man. That's redundancy. But that's what they're selling it to us now. And there's been a lesson in the appreciation of those who have the skill to actually box. But if you notice, they sell you this Mexican style. This is the thing now, right? But anytime a Mexican fighter can fight this style, what do? They fight this style. They don't fight that other style. There's a reason for it. But you gotta look at the con gang that's going on in the sport of boxing, man. They're trying to take the man that's on the pedestal off the pedestal. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if you get where I'm leading with that, but I'm pretty sure we all do. But I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah. Hey, it's funny that you say that because I'm gonna go back to right here. D-Lo said earlier, Jamel says it's not about race in boxing. And I would like to get you guys' opinion on that, starting with Brandon. Brandon, you there?
Okay. He said it's not. Yeah. I'm sorry. He said it's not about race in boxing.
Right.
Is that you said someone made the comment? It's not about race in boxing, right?
Yeah, Jamel Charlo made a comment. Actually, I believe it was the guy Flores was giving an interview with Deontay Wilder. And throughout the interview with Deontay Wilder, when they start bringing up the race issue, it starts buffering. And I guess the video buffers all the way out. So then there was a video made saying that, well, Jamel Charlo was stating that, well, he's not race is not a factor in boxing. Race is not a factor in boxing. It's all
Yeah.
about going out here and handling your business. Champions handle their business. It's not about race. These guys complain about this, they complain about that. Ain't no race factor in boxing. So with that being said, and we got six underrated just entered the building. A good brother underrated. We got 6 black men on this panel. I just want to get your opinion, each guy's opinion. How do you feel about that opinion, that statement that he made?
Well, I mean that's fine. If he feels that it's not about race when it comes to a champion taking care of business, he's absolutely right. Because if you're a champion or a professional boxer, regardless of your race, you have a job to go in and take care of. Now, unfortunately, this is America. And in America, everything is built on race and ethnicity. Nothing is built on anything else, except for maybe money. But even with money, it still comes down to race and ethnicity. So you're going to always have a color, racial, ethnic component to boxing because by nature, humans, we like to be able to associate and group someone as one of ours. Like for example, we as Black Americans, who are not people who immigrated here, but Black Americans, we embrace the Mike Tysons, we embrace the Devin Haney's, the Floyd Mayweathers, because they are part of who we are. Whereas we didn't embrace the Lennox Lewis, we didn't embrace, or we're not really embracing the Anthony Joshua's because they are not necessarily, they're not Black Americans. Same thing with De La Hoya and Canelo. De La Hoya is a Mexican American. Canelo is a Mexican. So it does come. There's always a racial, color, ethnic component with it. It always is. I mean, if you look at a lot of white boxers, a lot of times their promoters or managers try to sell them up as being Irish or showing that they had some type of British ancestry to be able to help bring in a lot of the fans who are white, who are a British UK ancestry. So there's always going to be a racial component in boxing.
Okay, Coach, can I get your point of view?
And my point of view is what Charlo said. I agree with him 100%. As a boxer, okay, you cannot be too concerned about racism or anything. You got to be concerned about what you're going to do in that ring or what you're going to prepare to do. Now, we all know that racism is involved in everything we do, and that it's going to be tougher for the black boxers more than it is for a white or a Hispanic boxer. That's just the norm for the, and I'm not just going to say the USA. I'm going to say for the world, because they've done a number on this world. I've been all over the place, and I see how we are treated differently than anybody everywhere in the world. Okay, I'm telling you. And but as a boxer, and you're trying to achieve something, you cannot worry about that, because it becomes an obstacle, it becomes a barrier. So you have to so I understand what Jamel is saying, that, hey, guess what? There's nothing. He has to have in his mind that there's nothing is there, and he's going to go as far as he can go. But we all know that there are barriers, to us being black men.
AK?
Yeah, I agree with everything Coach just said, dead on down the line. I think since Wilder was on a live and Jamel just typed in what he said, I think everybody taking what he said completely out of context. I don't think he's been around long enough. He's been through enough to know that everybody knows race plays a part in just about everything we do, especially us from this particular culture. So I know Jamel wasn't saying that. I think Jamel was going on the fact that, ever since Wilder lost to Fury, he's, look, we love our brother, man, but he's not talking about everything that happened in the fight in terms of basically he's saying because of Fury's privilege, he was able to get away with some of the things he did in the dressing room. You know what I'm saying? So, sorry, fellas, hold on, sorry. Sorry about that. But yeah. So I believe that's what Jamel was more focusing on, like basically saying, look, man, what you like Coach said, what you do in the ring, race ain't got nothing to do with it, man. You gotta get in the ring and take care of business, and don't make it about racing when it comes to that. But I think we all know there's serious, unbelievable race issues on that when it comes to, the sport of boxing or any sport. Like you could just go to any blog and just pull up any black fighter and just see what the stuff they say about them to see that. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. Black Star?
Man, I thought about this and thought about it. Kind of close to the Charlos, man, out here in Houston and everything. My dudes, man, I rock with them heavy. But this right here, man, no, I got to call it as I see it. See, what's happening here is Jamel is holding on to some stuff in the past with what's Wilder. And it really ain't even about the fight. It's because he had made a statement about the Harrison fight. And he kind of, he gave him his props, but he didn't do it the way that he wanted to hear it from him. So he's holding that against him as if he was favoring Harrison over him. Whereas really Wilder was really giving both of the guys props, saying how great of a fighter he could be and how the fight could go either way. But he took it to, you're supposed to pick my side or whatever. And he's holding that against him to this day. And I think, because we know they've had, instances in the past where they've came out and spoken about the racism that they have faced. And it's pretty obvious, but you can't play this game right now. That's something that you got to pick up the phone and call your brother and say, listen, man, hey, look, man, I ain't kind of like that there. What's going on with, how you really feel, whatever is the case that you have, brothers got to do that, man. You can't forsake this, because a lot of times not doing this is going to make something grow into something like this. And now here we all got to sit here and assess the damage, but nobody can really give you an answer. But everybody got an opinion because the people who really started it all off ain't saying nothing, man. And that's too much, and that caused a big divide amongst us. Now we all want to support him. He got a big fight coming up against Castano for undisputed. You want to do this now? You see what I'm saying? So you can't get caught up in the emotions. You can't let something like this dictate, your actions at this time. Just sit back, fall back, man. Let them work out or whatever he got working on, what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? Because they could have settled that long before the rematch took place. They could have already had all that settled out and everything, man. So that's the part that upsets me, man. But to say that race don't matter is an idiotic statement, because if it was not so, we wouldn't even be here. There would be no genre for us to sit on YouTube and talk boxing if there was no race. And further to that, if you can't be a historian of the sport of boxing and say that race doesn't matter, you can't say it, because why would they have the colored titles back in the day? You see what I'm saying? So, we could go all over the place with that one, man. But I'm gonna leave it right there so my brother underrated can get in.
Good brother, underrated. Salute to Gary Walker in the building. And salute to good brother Ricky Williams in the building. Salute, good brothers. Underrated. Can I get your opinion?
Well, I say it like this though, I understand what the brothers are saying, but along with Black Star saying that this is the wrong time to say it. And to say that racism doesn't exist, to me, we just cannot just keep on saying, yeah, racism goes on. Goes on. But when other situations pop up, we want to stand quiet about it. I'm done. I'm done staying quiet. I'm not. I mean, I never was quiet anyway. Call it as it is, and like that. The black fight has never got respect in this world. Let's put it out. Just say it. I'm tired of people just talking about this seasonal talking. I'm tired of it. I'm really, really tired of it. There are quite a few things has happened of the last few, I mean, years ago, but last few years, and it just some people just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? What Furry's doing and other people is doing, and then you got Terrafino saying certain things. People want to sweep that under the rug. I'm tired of that. Nah, call it out as it is. Stop being around the bush, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Peace to the brothers, peace to everybody in the chat, peace to everybody in there. And I'm still celebrating my birthday, but I really appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep up the good work. I fall back.
Happy birthday, number one grinder.
Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday once again.
Happy birthday, champion.
I'm celebrating from yesterday and I'm continuing today. You know.
So we all agree this is the wrong time for Jamel Charlo to be bringing up the racism.
Yeah, most definitely. But even bigger than that, he needs to learn a lesson on manhood. Talk to that brother, man. Don't go out there and do nothing like that, where you trying to take a shot at him publicly, but at the same time you're gonna coon, and you're gonna, man, come on, bro. I mean, I don't know how you can add it up, but to be so, man, I don't even know how to define it, bro. That ain't the way you handle that.
Okay, so listen, I was listening to somebody else's show, right? And they one of their questions to someone was, they was defending Charlo. So they was like, man, maybe Charlo was just talking, you know what I mean? Maybe just talking and not really knowing what he was just talking about. With that being stated, their comeback statement was, well, if it ain't racism in boxing or something like that, look at the Juneteenth card. It's only one black fighter on the Juneteenth card. And I would like to get everybody on the panel's opinion about that. Starting with Brandon.
For that, there's no discussion of that. You know what I mean? That's been really lowered up for black fighters. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. And anybody that's gonna say something differently, I'm gonna take a look at you. I understand business and everything, but we already know the history what Juneteenth come from. So
To
No,
me,
no, but
to me,
well, I finished.
not to cut you off, brother. Not to cut you off. Not to cut you off. It just seems like to me when the pandemic was at a roar, at its high, in 2020, it was all about this Juneteenth. Now we into the moving on with life, and the pandemic is dying down. And for us to, we was supposed to, this was an advantage we was supposed to take over as Black folks. Like we gonna push this. They sit up here and made this supposed to be a national holiday. So with this being a national holiday, and with all these boxing promoters that's out here, Black promoters and everything, how could we have a Juneteenth weekend fight and only one Black fighter be on the card? The rest are Mexicans. Brandon, you're into promotion and you know things about promotion. Can I get your output on that? How do you feel about that?
Brandon, you there?
I'm right here. I'm sorry.
Brandon.
For me, it's atrocious, man. Like,
that's underrated.
It's just to me, it's mind-boggling, and we just it's like a slap in the face, of our culture. It really is. It's a slap in the face. Like I mean, y'all disrespecting our contributions in the past or something. If there's some that we missing, mostly champions, it's really come from us. I want to know. Do I need to take a sip on that or something? I want to know. Somebody need to explain to me why there's only one fighter in majority of Mexicans. Are you right? Am I hearing it correct on Brother Basement?
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you now.
Okay,
Brandon.
I don't know what just happened. What went wrong with my with my microphone? But okay, if we look at it, they're only going to have. Well, first, let's ask this question: where is this fight going to happen? Where is this Juneteenth fight happening?
Isn't it Houston?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't been to Houston, or I live in Richmond, Texas, Sugar Land, Texas. Okay. If I want to do a boxing show and I want it to be successful, I want people to come out and spend their money on the tickets, on the alcohol, on the merchandise. I am going to have Hispanic fighters there because this is Texas. That is it. There's nothing else to it other than it's Texas. If you do not have a substantial amount of Hispanic fighters, it is going to be hard for you to make money. And that's really, at the end of the day, regardless. I mean, I know it's happening on Juneteenth, and it's supposed to be the emancipation because the history of what happened to the enslaved people here and how it took forever for them to be able to get these African Americans their freedom. But at the end of the day, it's money, and that's what it is. It's going to come down to money.
I got a question for you, Brandon. So why have a fight in Houston? Why not have it somewhere else then? If you're a promoter.
Well, okay, Houston. Okay, well, like I think right now it's about $10,000 to do the COVID protocol testing, right? So, and that's a low end. So it may be higher depending on how many people and everything you're going to have there. You're going to have it in a place where you can have the people, you can have the availability, you can have the parking, and look, it's going to be able to accommodate what we need in order to break even. You could go into the Valley and do a show, but the Valley, which is closer to Mexico, I keep forgetting everybody's not from Texas, has a huge Hispanic population. Houston has a huge Hispanic population as well as African American population. So, and then plus Charlo's from here, so you're going to get a good mix of support and turnout.
Okay. Under Black Star, I see you wanted to say something. Go ahead. I see you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Because
before you start, let me give a shout out to Winston Wolf and give a shout out to Mr. Shelton in the building. Go ahead, Black Star.
Yeah, man. he brought up a point, man, and it's been said a lot. So it's not like he's the only one, man. But like when we was on Instagram a little while back ago, brother Ron Simmons was on there with us too. I know you remember Basement. We talked about this a little bit. You know, I don't see any reason why it couldn't be an all black card for a black holiday, a black event. I mean, you got 6 million people in Houston by itself. That's just Houston. This doesn't count the people that's gonna come from Dallas and surrounding areas, San Antonio, and vice versa. You know, all the places. It's a huge black population down there. I mean, the stadium is gonna have what 20,000 seats at best. You saying out of those million, you can't come up with 20,000 black fans that's going to come and support it? I mean, I would say that the chances of that happening is highly likely. On top of that, who spends more money than the black community? Who? Somebody tell me. If
Well,
we were a nation, we would be one of the top 10 richest nations in the world as far as spending power. So, I mean, if you want to entice somebody, I think I would want to entice these people. I mean, look at Triller. Triller is enticing the culture. Who is the heartbeat of the culture? It's us. You see, and it brings financial success, but you will get the Latino to come watch a black fighter anyway. How many of them love Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard? They love all our greats anyway. They always talking about him. They always imitating. This is just continuation of everything and such. Like you say, these brothers is from Houston. They're well known all over the city. So you bring in the event there. They've been doing well every time they come there anyway. So it really wouldn't have made a difference. With who else you
well,
got fighting, that's the draw.
well. Here's the thing you got to look at though. Like you're right, blacks. Okay, African Americans. I kind of said blacks. It sounded so racist.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I
I was
know.
like,
People say,
I was like, dang. Okay, African Americans have a huge amount of spending power, but we are not one of the biggest spenders when it comes to boxing. Unfortunately, if you look at it, it's the Hispanic market is is huge when it comes to boxing in the southern states. Like you saw Canelo when he fought in Dallas. If you ever go to any event and it has Hispanic fighters there, they are supporting their own. They're buying the alcohol. They're buying the T-shirts. They're buying the tickets. They're buying the tables. They're coming out in droves, and these are for undercard guys. These are guys who might be 5-0 against a guy who's 2-3, but they're bringing 200 people there just to see them. And when you multiply that, you have if you multiply that, you're looking at, okay, I'm spending maybe $200,000 on these fighters, and I'm probably making close to 800,000 once everything is all added up, because the boxing is big in the black community, but the boxing fans are not as dedicated to black boxers as Hispanic and Latinos are to theirs, because you'll find a lot of people who will be split on a black boxer, and they could be black as well, and you'll find some who support that boxer, but it's hard to find those same two people willing to say we're both going to spend our money, buy $50 worth of food, bring our family out to watch this guy win or lose. With a Hispanic population, a Hispanic fighter, that's just it happens because boxing is a part of the Mexican culture primarily. It is a big part of that culture.
Black Star.
bro, yeah, and that is what it's always been said. But when you examine it, the top 10 all-time highest grossing fights are always who? It's us. It's always our fighters that's producing these massive sellouts. And when they want to have a major fight, 9 out of 10, if they're going to make a big payday, they're fighting one of us. Then on top of that, to say that it's huge in their culture, well, okay, as per se as the pantheon of sports goes, boxing is rated higher on theirs because you don't see them in basketball and football on the same level as you see us. So to us, it panders down lower. But when it comes time to be at the top of the genre, there we always seem to be. I mean, they still running around here trying to emulate Floyd Mayweather to this day. You know, and
Well, yeah, you're
we just
right,
had
but
we
but
also just had a pay per view not long ago, all Hispanics. It wasn't sold out. It didn't do all that great. But you're telling me that just because they're Spanish, it's going to sell a million pay per view sales, and it don't translate that. That's all I'm saying. It has to be based on the skill, and there's appreciation for it. That the media keeps trying to push that, and they keep telling us that as a reason to say that's why we can disrespect you. We don't have to think about you because you guys don't do what these guys do, and it's bullshit. And it's
Well,
enough
here's the
of
thing
it.
you gotta look at though. Here's what you gotta look at. When you look at the 10 biggest, if you look at the 10 biggest boxing matches as far as it goes to ticket sales, pay-per-views, all of that, I mean, I can probably guarantee 8 out of those 10 happen in Vegas, not in Texas. Maybe one of Canelo's fight happened in Texas, but the rest of them happened in Vegas, maybe California. Because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you're going to go wherever you know the money is going to be guaranteed and it's going to be there for you. And but black fighters can make a lot of money, and you're right, they bring in a lot when it's a top level fight. You bring in Floyd Mayweather against Manny Pacquiao, Ricky Hatton, or another high level boxer. Yes, it's going to make money. But if you have a fighter that says, "Look, I'm known, I'm a good fighter, I'm fighting a guy who isn't known, doesn't have a big fan base," you don't take the risk of trying to stack that with a card that you know that the undercard, the fighters don't have the support because you're going to end up losing you end up losing money on it.
So
You're not going to end
that,
up making a profit on it.
okay, so what you're saying is that's not going to, regardless of race, it's not going to because of the skill level of the fighters. That's what you're saying, right? So you're not saying race. So that this you're not you're
No,
saying
what
right now that it
I,
doesn't matter that they're Mexican. It's not going to sell if they're not to a criteria.
no,
Am I
no,
getting
no.
you
I'm
right?
saying because boxing is a part of Hispanic culture. It it's going to sell. Like if you look at boxing on Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day, you have a lot of boxing events happen across the country because that's a celebration. So that's an event where it's like, look, we want to celebrate by having Canelo or another top level Hispanic fighter
Mm-hmm.
fight. We love to see that happen on those days because
Okay.
those 2 days are important to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a couple of low level guys,
Bro, you
but
gotta
they're
let me
going to
get this in,
appreciate
bro.
it.
You
Hey,
gotta
can
let
I
me.
say something on that?
Yeah, I mean, what you just said. I mean, I can take you right now. You're saying that they said. Who started those two Mexican holidays? Who was the guy that did that?
Oh no, I don't know whether I think those actually are Mexican holidays, so I don't know
Yeah,
the actual. That's another
I,
country thing.
no worry.
But in the South,
I can tell you, my brother. It was Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was the one who picked those 2 days. He was the one who started that holiday thing. It wasn't Mexican fighters. It was Floyd Mayweather. He just turned it over to Canelo. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? When you hear the narrative that they speaking, they say it that way. But when you look at the facts, it don't bear out. You just had a pay-per-view not too long ago that flopped.
well,
It was
well,
all
that's not.
Mexican. It was on a Mexican holiday. It had all the criteria you said that it needed, and it did not success. So,
Well,
I mean,
you're
how do you
talking
explain
about
that?
you're
Can I say
talking.
something, please?
Go ahead, coach. Go ahead, coach. Go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead.
What I want to say is this. Hey, uh, uh, I don't think we really need to go back and forth on this. Uh, Number one, it takes planning. Uh, um, due to the pandemic, a lot of stuff, like you said, they were talking about it in January, but things it takes planning for things like this. Somebody got the mic on. Is that me? Uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
um, Now this is something that I've said a while ago, and it's not too late. We can do it next year, but I think that we should come together on June 19th as a whole. And guess what? I think we should have all the champion black boxers box as many as we can box on that day. They don't have to box each other. But we take that whole week, wherever it is. It has to be planned. We can't just say, hey, we just can't take a couple of months and say, hey, we have to plan it well in advance. That hey, okay, are you going to support this? Okay, hey, I don't care about, a lot of people going to hate me because I don't care about the promoters and all that. Guess what? This is a day for us as a community, as black people. All our champions, we're going to take this week. We're going to have a week wherever it is, and we'll invite all the families to come to this city, wherever it is, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to celebrate the whole week. We're going to have platforms, whereas we have old retired boxers like a Riddick Bowe, Sugar Ray Leonard, boxers
Marlon Starling, stuff like
boxers that rose up and fell down. Andrew Maynard, and they can tell these young boxers, hey, this is the way I did it, and this is where I made my mistakes. Don't you make these mistakes. You know, you rise above it. So we need to do things. Have booths where we have different black owned companies. You know, have booths and they get to sell their products. You know, amongst another. And we get in the champions, they don't have to fight each other. Okay, just come and support. You have a fight, and it may not be a big payday for you, but come and so let's support our own and come together. And guess what? We can build off of that. That's one thing that I hope that we can do very very soon. And if we can get some promoters to help us, that's fine. But if you don't want to help us, if you don't want your boxer to box in it, guess what? We know where you stand, and guess what? We won't support you in the future with any of your boxers. But this is something that we need to do, and that's what I wanted to speak on that. I'm not really about going back and forth on what's going on now.
Well, I'm down for that. Like I said, put me down on it, Coach. I think it's a good idea. Next year, let's do it. However, whenever, whoever, let's do it.
Hey, those are definitely great points, and I believe we all can agree, and that is so. And it wasn't so much about a difference between me and the brother. It wasn't. It's just the fact that it's been a hot topic this week, and a lot of people have been really talking about it, man. And I wanted certain points just to really get out there because, for one, like you said, Coach Ron, man, you right on with it too, man. I think the biggest thing about it is, like, you know, there's still talk going on now. Matter of fact, just the other night on Fred's show on Barbershop Conversations, they were talking to Earl Spence. Earl Spence called in, and the brothers stood and they said, "Hey, bro, Juneteenth next year, what it is, you know, would you want to fight on that date?" And they was giving them proposal. He down with it, bro. He down with it. So now you get a guy like that with that type of power. If he completes his year the way that we see it, he beats Manny Pacquiao. You know, if Bud, you know, for whatever reason, if he get the heart and they get it right and they get in there, whatever be the case, or whatever your reason you feel like it's not happening, it happens. He gets both of them. He gets undisputed again. So next year, this guy got the power to look at them and say, "Look here, I want my card on June 19th." He could tell them that, you know, boom, and then talk to other fighters as it is, and have other cats want to jump in on the card. Man, we can really make this. We can do it ourselves. We don't need these other people. And for like another thing you said, brother, how like, and if we see guys reject and don't want to get it, we can see it. Then the fan base that they say that don't mean anything, that they don't have to cater to us. We just whatever you want to do with them. We don't care about them. Can make their presence known. So when the next time this guy fights and don't none of us show, you see. So at some point they're gonna have to stop ignoring us. They're gonna have to realize that we exist and that we are a mighty force in this sport as well. Just like all other sports, you know. If you're gonna, look at the Triller card. They advertised it to the culture. You brought in the rappers. You had Snoop Dogg. Who were you marketing it to? You wasn't marketing to the Hispanic and them. They all boat riding off the culture, but we are the leaders of the culture. This is what I'm saying about it. You see, this thing is bigger than business. This supersedes the business mind. The business mind can say, well, it can make money. I don't want it for some other reason. And that's the reason why they don't want to pursue that type of thing. That's why it ain't happen like that. But Bob Arum has been presented the same thing. He sounded favorable about it, but we don't see a date from his call on the 19th. I'm not sure. No, not this year. But he did act like that was something he would be open to. But that was, once again, presented to him on the barbershop with Fred. You see? So it's been a movement going on, and we've been getting in these fighters' ears, man. The ones that have the respect for us and come by and want to talk to us and sit down and say, hey, man, I recognize that you people exist. Because that's what we represent. We representing the black fan base. We representing the black fighters. And the ones that are smart and wise enough to understand that will come sit down and talk to us, man. And we can chop it up on whatever and get to the bones and the facts of what needs to happen to better that fighter's career, to give us fight fans that what we want to see and bridge that gap. That's why we're here. That's why you got other channels out here that's attacking that. You know, like this old punk ass punk drunk or whatever. He got the perfect name, punch drunk motherfucker don't know shit, but that's what he's calling his dumb ass self. He wants to run out here and cause a race war with people on YouTube about boxing. He made a video the other day about Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder said something about he lost because the guy was white. Oh, ain't he going to be white in the rematch?
Who's that Black Star?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
His name is Punch Drunk Boxing. It's a guy on there that he has a YouTube channel and he goes around and he spouts this stuff out there. And this is the kind of stuff that we here to combat, man. That's why we have these apparatuses in place for us guys to have platforms to go out here and vocalize our opinions and set the record straight. When people raise up the questions, when they come out here, we break down the facts. This, oh yeah, you think? Well, no, check this, check that. That's what's going on out here because they're trying to take us and swipe us under the rug, and we ain't standing for it. We're not even going to allow it a little bit. So hey, you know, that's where we at. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is bigger than money. It's bigger than all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hold our position because it's our position. We made the sport of boxing like we made all the others. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing different. And they're going to have to bow down and realize that because if we pull ourselves out of all of their sporting events, all them sports will go to hell. Now, am I right or wrong?
No, you're right on that. I mean, African Americans have always been a strong contributor to sports. You know, I think the only sports that we have never been a strong contributor to are sports that don't take place or sports that are too small that nobody cares about, if that makes sense. I think one issue, and this is something Coach had said before, and ever since he told me this, I've been like, you know what, that makes sense. You know, a lot of these fighters aren't taught how to be successful on their own or how to be responsible adults. And I think, you know, one thing that we need to have is we need to have more Black voices educating anybody who listens on what it means to be a boxer and an adult and a human being and a part of society, because you have a lot of boxers who they're not taught that, and they steadily become victims of this sport, and not just this sport, but the entertainment industry. So I think it would be a very good idea to keep talking, keep educating, keep bringing in intelligent conversation. Because I don't know this punch drunk boxing, but you know, anybody who calls himself punch drunk boxing, I'm kind of inclined to not
don't even market him. No, don't even say his name anymore. Don't even say it anymore. We don't even say his name anymore. He don't even need that.
Right.
Okay, but I just want to go off of what Brandon's talking about. What something I had said, and what I had said is this: as a coach, you know, we keep going through this cycle of boxers. Our boxers start off poor, then they make a lot of money, and then they die poor. Okay, and the reason this is happening is because our coaches, we're teaching our boxers to be champions in the ring. But we need to teach them to be champions in ring and in life. Okay, I've seen a lot of coaches that had boxers and they taught them to be good boxers, and then they end up leaving their coach and going with some other coach. So that means the coach did not teach that boxer loyalty, did not teach that boxer honesty, did not teach that boxer respect. You know, did not teach him skills that you need to have in life, you know. So we get these boxers in, oh man, we only look at one portion, but I'm going to make him champion in the ring. You know, make this boxer a champion person in life, you know, so that they can do the right thing in everything that they do. And this is why I say that we need to have that platform on June 19th with some older boxers that have been through stuff. Okay, and they can talk to these young boxers and tell them, hey, about what these promoters are doing, about what these managers are doing, about the mistakes that they made coming up, the things that they saw. You know, all that glitters is not gold. You know, but we don't go back to teach these young boxers, hey, this is how the game play. This is how it goes, and you got to be smarter. Don't go with this. Stick who's with you. You know, don't go somewhere else. Stick who's been with you all along. Okay? And but these are some things we need to do. We need to change the this cycle that we continue to go on. And so that's what Brandon was talking about when I say boxers being, yeah, of course you got to be responsible and accountable, but these are things that are taught. Okay, and this is something that us coaches need to do with our young kids, make them be accountable, teaching them to be accountable, teaching them to be responsible, teaching them to be champions in the ring, and teaching them to be champions outside the ring, teaching them to be champion citizens, you know, of your city, of your state, of your, you know, of your country. This is what we need to do, and it'll give boxing a better outlook, and boxing will garner even more fans when we have champion people representing us.
Man, big facts, coach. And I just want to piggyback off that and add just a couple of things, man, because what you're saying is absolutely right. I'm 100% in agreement with it. But right now we have an atmosphere that is very beneficial for that right now. And I want to say the PBC and the Al Heyman right now. Because one of the first things I ever learned about it when it came out was when Earl Spence was doing an interview, and he asked him, you know, why did you choose him? And he said, well, we may have had a meeting with him, and he sat us down, but we never talked about boxing. So I'm like, well, what y'all talking about then? You know, first thing come to my mind. He was like, man, he was talking future investments and setting things up and taking care of his life before we ever even talk boxing. And that goes right along with what Coach and the good brother Brandon was saying. And that is absolutely right, man, because without that apparatus in place, that's the one thing that Al Heyman is bringing to it. His fighters is taken care of for life. That's why you got even the Mexican fighter like Leo Santa Cruz come out and name his son after him because of that, you know, and that is very good. Then when you look around and you see the trend now lately of these old school fighters like Roy Jones and Sugar Ray not supporting the young fighters. You know, when they asked him, what do you think about? Well, I'm going to pick Mikey Garcia. And okay, you was the hero of Errol Spence, but you on a media platform facing the camera. Yeah, I'm going with Mikey Garcia. You know, but you might not have been Mikey's favorite, but you was the favorite of Errol Spence. You were the guy who sparked the Errol Spence. But now that he's in this big thing, you're not lending him your support. You know. And he recognized, he said, you know, my people always seem to be on the wrong side. He take it on the chin and keeps moving forward. He never wavered in his quest of what he's doing. But that is very important for these older fighters to do that. You see too many times. You got Roy Jones going over to Russia, training fighters over there. You see what I'm saying? So that a media outlet can take these fighters years down the line that have learned skills from us that we have innovated through our culture of black fighting, which everybody wants to ignore, and then put a fighter in the ring who will emulate you. Like remember when he fought Joe Calzaghe? How many times will people throw Joe Calzaghe in Roy Jones' face? Will he remember that shit then? No, he won't. But you are feeding the atmosphere that's going to bring this about, that the future black fighters got to combat. They already have enough. You're not going to lend it to support? Instead of saying, I'm not going to train over there. I'm going to find these inner cities. I'm going to find the next one of my people. You see? Mexican fighters do that, you know.
Black, so I gotta speak on that because I'm a prime example of what you're talking. I live in India and I'm teaching Indians how to box. You know, it's an opportunity for me. Yeah, opportunity that's not afforded me here in the United States. Okay, I'm one of the best coaches in the world. I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. Okay, but why am I not an Olympic coach? Okay, I've been trying to make the Olympics since 1988. Okay, I'm not afforded the opportunity. You know that a lot of people that I know that you know I look at some of the things that they do and I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to throw up. I'm getting sick by watching some of the stuff that I'm seeing. Okay, a lot of the stuff that you see on this YouTube and on this Facebook and these coaches doing this crazy stuff has nothing to do with boxing. I'm like, what is this bull crap? All these fads that these people are doing, and people are buying it. They're buying it. They're paying money for this nonsense. And I'm like, you know, I talked to Derrick James. Matter of fact, I talked to Derrick James last year this time and told him about June 19th this year and said, hey, he need to have EJ fight June 19th because I said it's a weekend. I told him this last year this time. Okay. but it takes time. You know, he said that he'll think about it or whatever, and he'll talk to somebody about it. I guess it didn't happen, but okay, I'm in India and I'm teaching boxers, and you can look on my my Facebook, my IG, and you can see some of these boxers, and you can see the technique that these young kids are using. Okay, yes, I can teach it here. We have a guy here. I just made a I just answered somebody had put something about Gary Russell. He threw a right hook. I think he might have stopped the guy for a right hook. But I would tell you, and I've said this for a long time, Gary Russell teaches the best hook there is. It's a coach here in DC. He has all, I guess all his sons are named after him. But I've said this for over 10 years. I watched. I'm like, man, oh man, who taught this kid how to throw? They throwing a perfect hook. Gary Russell is one that I feel like, hey, the U.S. Olympic team should have hired him to teach all the boxers how to throw the hook. And we don't do things like that, to make our boxers better. But like I said, there's a lot of nonsense that's on this internet, and people are getting paid. And I can't knock people getting paid; they're getting money, whatever. I can't knock it. But they selling bull crap to you guys, and you guys are buying it. Whereas, a lot of times, I learned my lesson. I give free knowledge away. And guess what? When you give free away, people won't accept it. I learned that. If it's free, they're not going to accept it. It can be the best in the world, but they're not going to accept it. Okay, but if you put a price tag, I charge $1,000 for it, everybody will buy it, and it can be a piece of doo doo. But that's just how people are, and I learned my lesson there that I cannot give away free knowledge anymore. I gotta charge for what I have.
Wow, man. I had to say, bro, I didn't realize that as well. How hard it is for some of you guys to be able to do, to be in the sport that you love, man, because there's so many things out here going that's trying to, it seems like, suppress the next up and coming black great fighters, man. It's like it's a lot of things, and even that they're keeping you away from some fighters that could use you, and you could use them and go on to this greatness. But since that element is out here, it's keeping great guys like you having to go, somewhere like that, and then these fighters out here with these other, because you got Devin Haney with Ben Davison. Man, that just don't even match up to me. But it's going down.
Be with Coach Sims.
you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. It's all jumbled and scrambled. But now we also have an apparatus that can resolve that as well. We just heard today that Mayweather's going to have a gym in Bowie, Maryland. So now, if you got this gym, if he had a chain of gyms all in the major cities, you see, then trainers like yourself could go and have a place to go. That the people that are out there trying to push another narrative can't affect it, you see? And then it will, our trainers would even get better, because a lot of these boxing coaches or, coaches, trainers, however they define themselves, aren't really great teachers. And you need great teachers. That's the art that's being lost in the sport. Now, a guy like yourself would be perfect for something like that. But we got to have another tree growing, like the Eddie Futch tree and, Harry Wiley tree. Harry Wiley's another guy not even in the Hall of Fame that needs to be in there. They shunning this man for no reason. The greatest trainer that I ever known is Harry Wiley. We spoke to his son, man. He had some great stories to tell us, man. We got to get him on here. My brother Underrated here had him on the show. But all of these things, man. And the only way it's going to come together when us brothers come together like and pop ideas and toss them around. We'll come up with a solution. We'll do what we got to do. We love the sport. We pass the love of this sport on to the next generation who happen to come through YouTube, check it. Oh, really? Some people don't think of boxing in certain terms. They look at it as it's not the major sport in America, but the more if it was on TV, like when we had Tuesday night fights, you had a chance to grow an audience and grow a culture. I mean, it was a successful TV show that was gone for no reason. Nobody can explain it. How can a show that make you money disappear? It makes no sense to me, But there's a reasoning behind all that, because you saw all the greats come through there and become the major stars. Now you have fighters who are great, but aren't great stars because they're not getting marketing, and the promoters aren't promoting them. They're not putting them out there to where they're household names, getting them in the they're going Whataburger commercial, or they out here test driving the new Altima, or whatever be the case. Getting them out there and showing their work. When I sit home, when I'm looking at TV and I see a UFC female fighter have a Modelo beer commercial, I'm like, what? She don't even speak English. I mean, something is wrong, my brother. Something is wrong, man.
Well, I think a lot of it, I think one of the reasons is what Coach said, and I think we kind of all kind of said, you're not teaching these fighters how they can make money outside of the ring. You're not really trying to market, you're not really trying to promote. And like for example, with me, any fighter I work with, I try to build their brand and say, look, it's not going to happen overnight. It happens by us, it's organic. It might be us doing a few things to help get a little bit more attention on you, but don't think that you can only make money in the ring. But I think one problem you have is that a lot of boxers are really good fighters, but they're not really, they don't portray themselves to be good people when it comes to social media. And a lot of times you'll find people, a lot of young black fighters that they don't know how to interview. They don't know how to speak without cursing or saying things are offensive. And it's like, well, look, like for example, I worked with Regis Prograde when he first went pro, and I had got him a sponsorship deal with O'Reilly Auto Parts, and it worked well because Regis was a very down to earth, nice guy. But you have some guys who want to get sponsorship, but it's like, look, if they go to your Facebook or your Instagram, everything you're saying is offensive and insulting women, or maybe you're insulting this, and you have to realize that keeps you from making money. That doesn't help put more money in your pocket. Because like you just said about the Modelo commercial, I don't know how much she got paid, but she got paid money without taking a punch. And a lot of boxers aren't taught that, look, you can make a lot more money outside the ring than you can in the ring if you will allow yourself to be able to understand how business works.
Hey, Brandon, when you say
Yeah,
that,
Coach.
it reminds me of Michael Jordan. Remember, Michael Jordan wasn't making a lot of money on the court, but he was making all his money off of endorsements. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I
Exactly.
remember
Yeah,
that.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, hey, who was the guy that could have had that Air Jordan deal, but he let Jordan get it? It was another basketball player that turned it down, and he got it. And then, boy, he gotta be kicking himself right now, boy.
Yes, sir. So
But yeah,
what
you're
I'll
right, Coach.
go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, Coach is right. Like if you look at it, like even like right now, LeBron James makes more money off the court than he does on the court. And that comes from understanding business and your value. If you have that value, you will make that money when you're sleeping, when you're awake, when you're training, when you're fighting, when you're taking a shower. And a lot of boxers aren't taught that. They have this idea that if I'm really good and keep winning, I'll make tons of money. And you can be good and be broke. You can be successful and be broke. Being broke is easy. You can be broke easy in boxing. You look at a lot of these boxers who had millions, and they're living at home with their parents right now, or they're in an apartment and they have to kind of be forced to do jobs or do things because they had the money and it left because no one taught them about how to manage their money. And it's important that fighters, especially black fighters.
Hey, Brandon, I want to ask you, or ask anybody, do we have there been any boxers that's made a lot of money outside of boxing that you guys can name?
Oh yeah, I mean Mike Tyson made a lot of money off of sponsorship. Brandon Holyfield made money off of sponsorship. I know Floyd made money when he had commercials before he got into the problems with domestic abuse allegations. I mean, I grew up playing Riddick Bowe boxing, Mike Tyson Punch Out, Mike Lee, and no, yeah, Mike Lee had a commercial on Subway. It's not easy to make a lot of money outside of boxing, but it's possible. Like you look at it right now. I mean, De La Hoya was making tons of money signing autographs and just being De La Hoya. In between fights, he could go to the event, speak at a speaking event and get $75,000 to just speak, and that's something that a lot of black fighters are missing because a lot of black fighters aren't taught. You can make this money just by being a lovable person for your community.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a great statement there for sure. And here's what I'm saying also. We can also help in that way too. It's like we have these little platforms. They like nothing. But think about it. We need them to come over here and show us some love, hop on here. Maybe we're not the best interviewer, Maybe I need to get better. Okay, you'll help me. And in turn, I'm helping you. And then as you growing, I'm growing, and we all going somewhere, you see? And then nobody can ignore us because all we need and it's all we got. So we just need to, activate that and let's get it done. It's to be done. But those are all great points, man. Like some guys are not really pitchmen. They can't really talk well. I remember when Daryl Green got drafted for the Redskins. He looked like this when he had first interview. And then you look at him today. He's a speaker. He goes out and does that. But he had to groom himself in that as well. We can help in that regard. Okay, mainstream media don't want to talk to you, and if they talk to you, they coming at you with an angle. They're trying to make you look some type of way. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you come over here and you deal with us, and we showing you love because we respect it and we appreciate you coming through here, showing us the love. So you're gonna get that vibe. You'll feel it. So then when you get among them and you know that vibe feeling different, you can put yourself on guard to handle it better. Get some like you might talk to each other after the interview. Hey man, that was a dumb question you asked. Oh man, my bad. I was just trying to keep it going, bro. You know what I'm saying? This ain't what I do. I ain't went to school for it, So we working each other. And then I can say, well, look, man, next time when you ask this, kind of use it like this. It kind of sounds better, And hey, iron sharpens irons, bro. We can do this, man. I mean, we've always been successful when we hone in together and we focus in on a goal. We always achieve that goal, and that's something we got to lean on.
You on point, Black Star, 100%. You on point.
And hey, I appreciate that. And with that being said, and promotions and everything being said, let's talk about tomorrow's fight, Floyd Mayweather and the card. And Brandon, you was talking about promotions and everything. Why Miami?
Oh, man,
Well, why not Miami? Well, think about it. It's Miami. It's great weather. It's going to be great events afterwards because you got to think about it. You're going to have Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, and Lord knows how many other celebrities in a great tourist vacation spot. You're going to have after parties after after parties. I mean, you're going to make Miami is going to blow up in the money right now, not just off the boxing, but only all the things going on in Miami.
Yeah, they also said Vegas turned it down. If you believe that, Vegas turned the fight down. Yeah,
I can believe Vegas turned it down. I mean, Vegas wants something that they can sell, that they can make money off of. This is an exhibition, so it's not going to sell as easy as it would because if you look at a lot of Logan Paul fans, they're a different age group. Vegas is you don't go to Vegas as a 22-year-old with no money. Miami, you can go to Miami, you could go to Airbnb or something, go see the fight, go to an after party, say, yeah, I was there. If Vegas is going to buy that fight, you got to have some gambling money. Vegas is not a cheap place. You don't go to Vegas broke.
Right. Makes all sense.
I think also Florida is like Texas. They're open. I mean, they're fully open where you don't have to wear masks and all that stuff. That's one of them Republican states that open everything up.
Well, it's crazy because that's a majority black card. That card could have been used for Juneteenth in Miami.
Oh, bro, the one they should have had was the Tank Davis card. They should have had that on June 19th. That's what they needed. That right there would have been that would have kicked it off right. That'd have been, oh man. But they got to make an event of it, like my brother Ron Sim said, man. They got to bring Bring the entertainers in, man. You know, because you're gonna attract the culture like that. You're gonna attract new boxing fans. You got black boxing fans out here who turned away from the sport after the Lennox Lewis and Floyd Mayweather got out the ring. Some cats stopped watching boxing at that point, man. Some guys you got to coax them back in. You know, oh man, I don't watch it, man. They got this there. I don't like this. I don't like that, or whatever. You know, you need something to string them back in. Even myself, I had took a little layoff from it, you know, because I was playing football and other stuff too, so I had that kind of come in. But when I flipped on the TV one day, man, and I saw Earl Smith first time on NBC, you know, I was back. It was Tuesday night fights for me all over again, man. Oh man, I like this dude. Look how he throw that, you know. I mean, that's something I hadn't felt in a while, and we need somebody to connect to. You have people all the time saying on these platforms, I'm a fan of the sport. I'm not a fan of a fighter. Man, I don't understand this. This don't make sense to me. What brought anybody into the sport of boxing? Does anybody like to get punched in the face? I don't think so. But if you saw somebody do something that was amazing in the ring, you go, oh, that's what's special. Just two people hitting each other is not going to get it. If that's the case, then you'd have guys who really weren't that great, and it's a fight card, and it would sell because it's just fights. But that's not the way it shakes out. It's got to be somebody on that card that you have seen before, and you have liked their work, and you liked how they perform. That's going to make you say, well, I'm going to spend my money and hop out here and go check it. You know, when you put the sport over the fighters, man, you do boxing a disservice. And in a way, that's how they're doing our fighters. Because those who are implementing the street science get downplayed like they're doing something wrong. And they want you to go out here and do something that's, you know, anybody can stand, put your foot here, throw a punch. Okay, he's going to hit you. Okay, you're going to get hit because you're in the danger zone. Where somebody who has the skill and who has developed it, knows how to move, get in, get what he got to get, and get out of there before he gets to return fire. How can that be looked down upon in this time is just so confusing to me. So that's why I say when people talk about the sport over the fighter, I think it's really out of line. Yeah, we all love the sport, but if the sport doesn't have great fighters, we're not going to watch no more.
Well, I think this is what we got to look at also. Like, I'm almost 40, and I remember watching Tuesday night fights and Friday night ESPN fights. You know, this fight tomorrow will bring in a lot of viewers who aren't necessarily boxing fans, but they want to see Mayweather and they want to see Logan Paul. I think part of the problem you have now is you have people who know MMA and they're like, well, wait a minute. Why are there not concussion uppercuts happening? I don't really care to see the sweet science. I want to see the violence. And then when they don't see the violence, they don't appreciate the artistry that they just saw. You know, it's like it's like with basketball. You know, people really hated on Steph Curry because he shot threes, didn't go in and dunk the basketball. Because to them, basketball is about dunks. And it's like, well, no, basketball is more than just dunks. There's crossovers. There's things that you don't see that you should appreciate. And I think another problem is that it used to be if you had a fighter who was up and coming, they fought in different places. They might fight in Chicago, then they might fight in LA, then they might fight in Texas, then they might fight in Florida. And unfortunately now, and not just because of COVID, but just other things, you have a lot of fighters who are only fighting in a couple of places. So if they're not on TV, you're not really into boxing, you don't see them. Because I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know who James Toney was, but he fought on Tuesday night fights, and then he fought on a Showtime or HBO card, and then it's like, okay, I'm kind of starting to see this guy here and here, and I'm becoming a fan of him. And whereas now you have a fighter, hey, I only fight in Chicago, I only fight in LA, only 2 or 3 times a year. So it's hard to be a fan of mine and come out to see the fights because I'm not coming to your city. You're gonna have to travel to my city, so it's a little bit harder to follow that fighter, I think.
Yeah, that is so true, bro. And in a way, because we gotta really think, man. One time, boxing was the NFL in this country. Boxing was the NFL. People used to gather around the TV just to watch it or on the radio, and just listen to the fight. That was the big thing. It wasn't no NFL to the heights that we see today. It wasn't. The boxing was the big deal. And over the years, because these things have went up, it has went down. and there's people who are in control of it. If you have people who are pulling and calling the strings of boxing, that's going to affect the sport. And if they don't love the sport of boxing or appreciate the fighters, we're going to have a lull, and that's what's happening because now they got a business mind. They're not thinking, well, what's best for the sport? What's the sanctity? You have a Hall of Fame. You know, guys are getting in because of colorful resumes, but when you take them into context, they really don't. It doesn't bear out that they deserve a spot in there. You see what I'm saying? Like it's from top to bottom, it's affected. You have the guys that's in there that are really like boxing guys that came up from day one. They love everything about it. They appreciate everything about it. They can correctly judge the sport. But when you got somebody who's coming out of there who was, I'm studying law, I was an accountant, then all of a sudden, oh, well, boxing, yeah, kind of, but how can I make money at that? Oh, okay, now I'm interested. Okay, your interest doesn't line up with the sport of boxing now. So now we're going to get a subpar product because your aim is not online for what the true real fight fans want. And boxing every day disrespects the hardcore fight fans. When they put a card together, they don't think about us. You know why? Oh, they'll watch it. We don't have to worry about it. It's boxing. These guys are going to watch it. We know the hardcore base is going to tune in and look at this. So we can look past them. Let's go try to get that guy over there or this one over here and take us for granted. But we're the ones that keep the whole thing going. You see, we need guys at the top who actually love the sport like that and that really want to, hold it sacred. That could keep boxing in the right frame. But since the money element is in there, that's why I have such problems with this Middle East money coming in. These guys don't know nothing about no boxing, man. What do y'all want boxing over there for? Y'all, man, it can't end up good for boxing. But go ahead, coach.
Black Star, you're absolutely right. And you got to remember that when boxing was a football of sports, the best fought the best, and now we're not getting that because these promoters they want to have longevity with their fighters and get them these belts and hold it as long as they can so that they can keep getting paid. So that's a problem. I think I lost my thought. I was gonna say something else that you guys. Oh, okay. Basement Boxing was talking about the fight tomorrow, and right. I don't think nobody. I mean, when you say the fight tomorrow, I'm thinking about Jared Hurd and Luis Arias.
Yes,
I think
sir.
That's the fight. Okay,
that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. Go ahead, let's go.
I think that's the fight. Okay, out of all the fights that's on there, that's the fight. The rest of them I can care less about. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, because Floyd Mayweather versus this other guy, whatever his name, Jake Paul, John Paul, whatever his name is, that's entertainment. That's not boxing. Okay.
Is that watering down the sport of boxing, coach?
No, I can't say it is because what they're doing, they're bringing in more fans than what boxing has. So other people come in, and guess what? That might bring them to boxing. Now, I had said this one thing. I think it was one bout where somebody got knocked out or something. One of them, I didn't watch it, but one of these, and this is what I say what's going to happen to boxing, the sport of boxing. They're either going to think that boxing is fake like WWE. It's going, well, most people that's not in boxing, they're going to think that boxing is fixed because of this. What was the one that fought? Jake Paul or John Paul, whatever. He fought somebody. And I ended up going on Clubhouse, and they had a room, and people were saying, hey, man, that was fake. So I'm like, oh, man. So if they think that their superhero is fake, they're going to think that boxing is fake.
Exactly.
Either that's going to happen, or somebody's going to go in there and get seriously hurt. One of the two is going to happen. Somebody's going to go in there, they're going to fight a boxer, somebody's going to get seriously hurt, not just a knockout, it's going to change their life forever, or the world is going to think boxing is fake like WWE. And I'm going to tell you, there's some people you can't tell that WWE is fake. They'll hurt you if you say that stuff is. They'll try to fight you. I'm serious. I done seen it before. They think that stuff is real, man.
Well, you ain't kidding, bro. I remember one time we went to the wrestling matches in Baltimore, man, and there was this little short guy, and he had a baseball cap on. I'll never forget it, redneck type dude, man. This dude was all emotional over this match, man. Ronnie Garvin and I think Ronnie Garvin and Ric Flair was wrestling or something. This dude was throwing chairs on ringside seats, man. People sitting in ringside. He winging chairs. Oh, he had his foot on the rope. And I was like, good God, man. I was probably maybe 12 or 13, man, but I never forgot it, man. I thought that was the funniest stuff I ever seen. This grown man was losing it.
But I think Coach Ronald makes some good points there. I think you guys both just made some good points about what boxing needs. I think if boxing is able to get these new viewers tomorrow and turn them into fans, then it's worth it. It is worth it because boxing can always use more fans. And I think boxing has to get out of its own way sometimes. Sometimes boxing gets in its own way and it ends up costing boxing. And, a good example is the Olympics. I don't remember the last time I cared about Olympic boxing because you don't hear anything about Olympic boxing unless you are a hardcore fan.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right. And that's sad to say, man, because I remember coming up, man, and we looked forward to every one of them Olympics and the team and who's coming up, the new guys. We already knew their name in the pipe, and now it's not that way. And it has been a change, man, but partially because, like the good brother Ron Simmons say, man, they got him over in India, It's a guy here that could take that program right here and bring it to prominence. It's almost like they don't want it to be successful, And that's sad to say it. And when I say that, I'm talking about the people who pull the strings at the sport today. These guys need to be replaced. Because if you're going, their moves is showing that, just like HBO. And HBO had to die because of it. And they was willing to die because of it. They said, we're going to make the Eastern European the face of boxing. And we're going to push it. We're going to push Triple G. We're going to push Kovalev. We're going to keep these guys going. We're going to keep them in your face. And the ratings just never boiled out. A lot of the American fans, they thought that was going to embrace them, just turned off boxing and said, forget it all together. And you lost. Then we, of course, was like, hey, man, them guys okay, but, when you going to put on Roy Jones or somebody again that we want to see, because they wasn't trying to market to us. And because of that, and because Floyd said, okay, forget y'all, I'm going to Showtime. And we had Floyd kicking over there. And when Floyd kicked over there and all that was going on over there, HBO just wasn't attractive no more. And because of that, we laid them to rest. But now saying that brings up something too. I know that my brother wasn't trying to talk about this, but I just heard that Jim Lampley has been hired by Triller. So now Triller is going in the mud now. I had high hopes for him, but they just fucked up.
So what do you guys think about the Lewis Arias Jared Hurd fight?
I like that fight actually. I'm not gonna watch the show tomorrow because I'm not gonna spend the money on it. But I think that'll probably be the best fight of the show.
That should be a good fight. They fighting at 162, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important fight on the card because, Jared needs a victory to get back pace. He said he's only going to fight this one fight at 160, then go back down to 154 because he wants to fight Charlo before he leads the division officially. So and we need to see where Jared is at. You know what I mean? And it's his progress since the J-Rock situation. We didn't get to see much his last fight, so this will be a big test for him. And for Lewis Arias, it's a chance for him to get himself on the map because it'll be his biggest victory. So that's the best fight on the card. I think Chad going to sleep. I think Chad Johnson going to sleep.
Who is he fighting?
He's fighting a bare knuckle MMA fighter who had one professional boxing match. But like I said, that's one more fight than Chad ever had in his life. And like I said, he's a professional at fighting, not football. I think they set Chad up, man.
Wow. Hey, another fight that I want to take notice to. AJ Benton, guy out of Cincinnati. He's fighting on the Mayweather card, and this would be I think his fourth or fifth fight on the Mayweather card out of Cincinnati. And I want to give a shout out to AJ Ben, and I salute to him, and also too, who else is on that card? Oh, Jahel Hackett. It'll be Jahel Hackett's first pro fight on that undercard too. Salute to Jahel Hackett too, and I wish him all the luck too on the fight too. He out of the BMV area too. So it's you got Jared Swift Hurd, you got the AJ fight, and you got Jahel Hackett fight. It's all worthy of watching.
Yeah, all in all, they made it so you can have a lot to look at, a lot to choose from. But like I said, the biggest fight, most important fight that's like really going to determine something is outside of the daily debuts for Jalil and stuff like that. Shout out to Jalil. But Jared needs an impressive showing. He needs the victory. And like I said, I think Chad is starting the whole thing off, and I think Chad is in trouble. I'm just telling you, I think Chad in trouble, man. He should have left it alone, man. You can play football, you can play soccer, you can't play boxing.
Yeah, he about to learn it too, bro. He about to learn it. But Jared Hurd, man, I'm interested to see what he look like. Man. I can't really get behind him to the point of feeling all this and that about him. But I hope he does well. I want to see him do well. But the last fight, I can't get it out of my mind how ginger he looked out there. He looked unsure, you know. So he had some more time since then. So that's why I'm really looking to see what he looked like. He be at 160. He might want to sit there if he really wants to fight Charlo, because coming back to 154, I mean, I don't think he'll be there long enough for them guys to meet, because he's going to have a couple more fights. I don't know how many he's going to have. Earl has already said if the Bud fight don't happen after Pacquiao, he's going to 154. So if he goes to 154, maybe Jamel coming on up to 160 with him. Maybe he can get there and get acclimated and be there ahead of him, and then things kind of come together naturally. Because I don't know how long he can keep making 154 anyway. The biggest damn 154 pounder I ever seen. He looked like he need to be fighting fucking light heavyweight. I don't know how he do it, man. It's the craziest. Somebody. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, but I look forward to it, man. Hopefully things will fall in real well for him. He'll have a good showing, and his name could be added back into the roster of the big fights again. But people kind of little down on him, man. But he need to be, before he holler at Charlo, he need to go back and holler at J Rock. I'm sorry, man. He came to your house, man. Did you dirty, bro?
Right.
Right. We got to handle that business, man. I was born and bred at DMV, man. That shit don't sit well with me. I don't know how you can.
Why you bringing up old stuff?
Hey, bro, it make it so bad. The college that they had to fight at, man. I used to go there all the time, man. Watch basketball back in high school.
Stuff, man. Let that stuff go, man.
Yeah, we got to handle that, man. Just like the good brother Antoine Russell did this weekend. He handled that old stuff. He came back and collected dust on that. He said, "We ain't gonna forget nothing around here." You did what you did. It's payday today, bro. Hey, and it's the perfect time to get him, because J Rock ain't all together right himself. So you getting yourself together. You coming out. You a little hit of him. You get him back out there. You give him that spanking you need. Build your confidence back up. You know what I'm saying? Then you come on back and holler about that Charlo thing, man. I mean, we still got to interest in it.
I'm still trying to figure out how J Rock won that fight to this day. I'm still trying to figure out what happened. I'm still trying to figure out how that happened.
I think one thing too, what you're saying is, I don't think Jared Hurd can still keep making the 154 weight.
Yeah, that's what
I believe that's what it is. I think it's too much of a struggle for him to make the 154 weight. That's why they're doing this fight at 160. And he said he's gonna continue. He plans on winning and continue training, and then come down to be able to fight it, maybe possibly Charlo at 154. But I don't think Swift Hurd can stay around the fight maybe 2 fights at 54.
I think he can still make the weight. He just had a lot going on. He lost his pops a few months back.
Yeah.
And, he kind of just got away from everything for a while, and just kind of you go through a lot of things. So he put some extra pounds on. But I mean, when you see him, like if you ever met him in person or see him in person, he's not a big guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. I don't think he had a problem getting the weight off and keeping it off. Because like I said, he's not a big guy when you see him. You know what I'm saying?
Man, with them damn shoulders.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about his height, but in his frame, his physical frame, he's not a big dude. He's not. He's not a big dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta see him in person then, because when I look at him on the screen, man, he look like Ivan Drago out there, man.
Nah, he's not a husky type fella. He's
I'm like,
real slender.
man, how in the hell is he 154? It boggles me, man. But I'm really glad that he's back up at it again tomorrow, man. I want to see a good showing in him, and I know he came to Houston out there in that heat, man, and he went in there and got some work in and everything like that, and it's been a little while since that last fight, but that thing kind of lingers in my mind. So I was like, I know it was kind of early, and just like Coach was saying a little before about the loyalty with a lot of fighters, and I think this is going to cost Efe Ajagba too, because you had Ronnie Shields, man. K. Karama is a good trainer too. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like he was developing it the right way, and they had a good thing going. I don't know what happened that made him pull out and go to Top Rank and stop all that, because he hasn't looked that good again. It looks to me like he regressed a lot to me. He don't look like the same fighter. I don't have the same uh, feeling of optimism when it come to him. And that's sad, because I thought he had a lot. He got the power, but he was getting the other things together. Like he went out there in that one fight with I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy caught him, and he got dropped in there, and he came back. But you seen him in the next couple of fights make improvements, show up his defense. And I'm saying, okay, he's getting this together, he's getting that together, he's got the power, it's there all day. The jab coming along, it's looking good. And then all of a sudden you just jump ship and you leave this guy like that now. And then when I see him now, I just don't see the same thing now. It's like I'm looking at him like, man, I don't know what he's trying to do now. But before I could kind of almost see he's doing the jab, he's setting him up for this, he's trying that. I can't see none of that now. So maybe I'm just off the game plan, but I liked it the way it was going. So I believe that was one of the instances where a fighter did do that, man. And even Ronnie Shields came out and said so. He said, man, it was loyalty. I took him from the beginning, and he has, man. Not a lot of great fighters are working with brother Ronnie. So we'll see what happens, man. I hope I'm wrong about him, but I just had to say it don't look that way to me now. I was high on him before.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With that being said, it's close to 4:00. We have another show coming on here on Clutch Studio, so we're gonna give this show a wrap. I'd like to say thank you for everybody who joined. Good brother Ronald Sims, AK, Black Star, the #1 grinder, Brandon, and everybody. I go in the circle. Everybody say their last thoughts on the fight, last comments. Period. Starting with you, Coach.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Basement Boxing, for allowing me to be on here, and nice speaking to all you guys, and we'll see you guys around.
We appreciate you, Coach, for coming out, man. And we look forward to you coming back on the panel again and dropping the knowledge that you have and prediction you have. Oh, let's see. Next week they got the Shakur Stevenson fight. Yeah, so you will be out in Vegas for the Shakur Stevenson fight. We forgot to talk about your boy. Hey, maybe we could possibly bring you on next weekend and talk about your boy Shakur, man, before you get to the fight. So
sounds great. Both Shakur and Troy Isley from Alexandria, he's going to be on that card as well.
Okay, yeah, that's a bet. That's a bet. We look forward to doing that next Saturday, chatting with you, and we talk about chop it up about the Shakur Stevenson fight. AK, I appreciate you for coming out, good brother. You got the mic.
Thank y'all so much, man. It's always a pleasure, man, just to talk boxing and be around other people that love it. I hit a few of y'all up on Instagram and Facebook while we was doing it. So if you see a request, I sent it to you, man. So, man, we be shouting at you, man. If not, hit me up on either or, man, so we can all keep linking up and keep the thing going, man. But yeah, and Coach Sims, I want to get a chance to holler at you when I get a chance, man. So y'all be good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you for coming out. and the good brother Black Star. You know that's my brother, man. I appreciate you for coming out like you do every weekend, man. You got the mic.
Man, my brother, hey man, I appreciate you having me on, man. You know how we do, bro. 24/7. All we do is talk boxing, man. Talk boxing, man. Got so bad, my old lady told me I had to do something with it, so I had to start a channel, man. Because she didn't want to talk it with me no more. But hey, man, I appreciate you, good brothers, for joining us, man, and coming out with us and chopping it up with us as well. Good brother Brandon, man, nice to meet you, brother. First time I've been on panel with you. Good brother Ron Sims, we had talked on Instagram once before, and then I believe on here too as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grinder, you know what it is, my brother, aka the Apostle, my good brother here, DMV brother, out here for show. And hey, man, like I say, tomorrow I go live tomorrow 11 a.m. If y'all brothers interested, man, hey, come chop it up with, again tomorrow if y'all want. You can. If not, it's understandable. But it's kind of early, so you know what I'm saying. Some of y'all might be in church. I'll just playing with you. But hey, man, thank y'all, good brothers, man. Appreciate y'all, mom. Much love and respect to everyone, man. Everybody subscribe to my good brother Basement Boxing Talk. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share his videos, man. Get the word out about the good brother, man. Let's grow this channel, man. Let's get this thing over to the 1,000, man. It's time to get these wheels rolling. And we appreciate you all for tuning in with us.
Hey, I appreciate you, good brother. I appreciate you. The number one grinder. I appreciate you for coming through like you always do. You got the mic.
Yeah, the birthday boy.
Yeah, thank you. Just want to thank y'all so much. I'm just all about just keep the boxing pure. That's all. Keep the truth in it. That's what I'm all about. And I appreciate y'all, and I see y'all around. Peace.
Appreciate you, brother, for coming out. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the good brother Brandon for coming out, joining the panel for us the first time. Look forward to when he coming back in the future. You got an open pass to the panel, and you got the mic, Brandon.
Going once, going twice.
You gotta unmute your mic.
Y'all meet.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, he had a little problem earlier. It might be having that same problem again. Remember he said
Yeah.
when he came back in? Maybe that could be what it was. So
Yeah.
maybe if you pop back out, Brandon, and come back in, good brother.
Can't hear you.
We can see you, we just can't hear you, good brother. Yeah, we know you had that problem earlier, so it's probably that same thing. It's understood, brother.
It's cool. Hey, I appreciate you, good brother, for coming out, man, and talking with us, man, and chopping up. Hey, I appreciate everybody on the panel who came out. Coach Ron Sims, aka the Apostle, good brother Black Star, the number one grinder, my good brother Brandon, and everybody was in the chat, man. Sir Ken, Watch AK Band, PGH Big Dog, TS Boxing, Mr. Shelton, Winston Wolf, Ricky Williams, Gary Walker, whoever else I might, D-Lo Boxing.
No, I'm okay with that.
The nicer. And anybody else I missed, man, I apologize, man, but it wasn't on purpose. I appreciate you brothers for coming out, man. And like we say, my good brother Black Star be on tomorrow, 11 a.m., chopping up about the fights that happens tonight. We'll be on there first thing tomorrow, 11 a.m. If not, we'll be back here, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Saturday. We look forward to talking to Coach on the panel and everybody coming through. I appreciate you, good brothers, for coming through. I salute you, man. And this one is a wrap. Peace.